This is how much it costs to spend 1 month traveling around Sri Lanka. Hi, I'm Erin and I'm on a 150-day world trip with my partner Luke. We have a budget of 40,000 Canadian dollars for this trip, and I'm going to break down how much of it we spent in Sri Lanka. Before diving into the numbers, I want to mention that lots of people frame Sri Lanka as cheap. I want to avoid that language because it comes from a place of economic privilege. Sri Lanka has been in an economic crisis for the last few years, and many people on the island are struggling. Life for Sri Lankans is not cheap, so if you are planning to visit Sri Lanka, please support local, barter fairly, and tip generously. So first, what we spent on accommodation. We spent $1,100 on accommodation, which works out to about $35 a night. This was for private budget rooms, mostly in homestays, and usually included breakfast. On food, we spent 745 Canadian dollars. A meal in Sri Lanka costs anywhere from $2 to $10. It'll vary depending on if it's street food or a sit-down restaurant. We usually had breakfast in our guest house and then did street food snacks for lunch and a big dinner. We spent 556 Canadian dollars on transport. This was a mix of tuk-tuks, buses, trains, and private taxis. We spent 441 Canadian dollars on activities. This includes guides, tours, surfing, and entrance to sites like temples and ancient sites. And lastly, our spend on random stuff was 176 Canadian dollars. This is for stuff like doctor visits, medications, soap, haircuts, and a few souvenirs. And our grand spend on a month in Sri Lanka for 2 people was $3,022.62, which works out to about 104 Canadian dollars per day.